Before we kick off this review, I want to officially introduce the 2019 Grand Sport C7 Corvette to the channel. I'm pretty excited. Let's do a cold start and get things kicked off. Welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great day. Sorry for not uploading as much as I normally do. We are currently planning our wedding and we decided we are getting a house built. So the new home should be done in July. I could not be any more excited. And if you can't tell, we're driving the C7. God, this thing sounds good. Had to do it. 60 degrees out in February. Had to take this car off for a spin. That being said, I'm gonna have to quiet this car down just a little bit so we can talk about the Glock 45 MOS. As a matter of fact, let's hop right to it. Starting things off, we're going to do a safety check. And as you can see, the mag is clear. Chamber is clear. If you're anything like myself, you are a gun enthusiast and you have plenty of guns in your collection. In specific, this is the Glock 45 MOS, and this is chambered in 9mm, just in case you guys don't know, even though it says Glock 45. You may have been bitten by the bug. You may have fallen in love with Glock, therefore Glock is the best, the greatest. Video over, we're done. Jokes aside, I love all my guns. There are so many amazing options out there, but the question is, the Glock 45 MOS, what is all the hype about? Is this gun worth the hype? And is this the best 9mm Glock platform that they've built thus far? Rewinding the clock and looking back at my own personal experiences, I'm going to try to answer this question. So I'm going to start off with my first Glock, and it's going to be a little surprising to most, and that is going to be the Glock 19X. Yeah, I was a little late to the game. And as you can see right here, there's nothing in the mag. Chamber is clear. And gun is clear. So yeah, my first experience with owning a Glock, that is with the Glock 19X. And obviously we know it's a 17 lower and it is a 19 upper. So when I first purchased this gun, I've shot many Glocks before this, I just didn't really buy into it until I got my hands on it. I'll be honest with you, it did not feel that amazing to me. But as I started shooting this gun, I started shooting it very well compared to my other guns. And I gotta admit, I fell in love with this gun. Now I have many other guns, but my Glocks are my go-to. With that being said, the Glock 19X, when I purchased this gun, they had a few flaws with this gun that I was not aware of at the time. Mainly the mags. So if you have a Gen 4 mag, you have a 17. As you can see right here, it will not fit. With that being said, the Glock 19X was not intended to be a civilian release. This was intended for the military trials, and I'm pretty sure they were anticipating winning that military trial, and unfortunately they did not. I really wish they would have. So I don't think they were really too concerned whether the Gen 4 mags would have fit in the Glock 19X. If they would have won the contract, what was provided with this platform is what they would have used across the theater. So I don't think that's something they're really worried about. Through trial and error with the Glock 19X, I worked my way to the Gen 5 Glock 19. We can see the mag is clear. And the gun is clear. So working our way back to the Glock 19 platform, with this I was able to use, whether it's Gen 4 mags, Gen 5 mags, Glock 17 mags, Glock 19 mags, didn't matter. There's no problems engaging the mags. So that was a huge plus for me. But then, after shooting this gun for a while, I started realizing that my big old hands just didn't feel too comfortable with this platform. I love it. I still use this on occasion for concealed carry, but I wanted to go back to a 17 lower and a 19 upper. But again, at the time, the only thing that was available was the Glock 19X. So I stayed with this. In doing so, I chose the Americlo sights. This came factory from Glock. And as you can see here, the Glock 19 Gen 5s have no finger grooves. Now, the funny thing about that is, if you look back to the Gen 2s, they didn't have any finger grooves either. And then Gen 3 and Gen 4, they brought them back. So in doing so in the Gen 5s is not really a new thing. Clearly the Gen 5 Glocks came with many more new features, but due to the length of the video, I will not be covering every single feature that came with the Gen 5 Glock 19s. With that being said, Glock lost the military trials with the Glock 19X, which is extremely unfortunate. And then eventually they released the Glock 45 and the Glock 45 MOS to the public. I have no doubt that these were in the works while the Glock 19X was being produced. They resolved the problem with the Gen 4 mags that the 19X had. Just to recap, I don't think the military was concerned about that at the time at all. They were more concerned about the contract, which would have stipulated only the mags that are produced for the Glock 19X would have been used for the Glock 19X. So again, that really wasn't a concern while that gun was being produced. This gun, on the other hand, I think Glock knocked it right out of the park. It introduced the RMR for me, which was new. This is a Trijicon Type 2 RMR, and this is a 1 MOA. This is my first RMR platform that I've ever used or ever shot. Again, I have a detailed review linked below if you guys would like to see that on this particular gun. Highly recommend, if you do get into an RMR, that you guys get an awful lot of training. I can't say that enough. If you've never used an RMR, it is not as easy as you think picking up that red dot, especially if you have to transition in an emergency. If you got to pull straight up during a time of need and you're not used to it, it's going to be hard picking this up. One of the very first things I did with the Glock 45 MOS is I changed these sights. These are Americlo suppressor sights, and they do co-witness with the RMR. If you have any questions about these sights, just drop me a comment and I will try to answer the questions as best I possibly can. I can tell you that after 1,000 rounds, I've had no problems with these sights. The RMR, obviously using the proper Loctite, has not moved whatsoever. One of the beauties about the Glock 45 MOS, or the Glock 45 in general, is the upper assembly is completely compatible with the Glock 19 and the Glock 19X. Take your upper assembly off. Here's your Gen 5 Glock 19. And they are completely interchangeable. And vice versa, if you have the Glock 19X, you can take your upper off, take your Glock 45 lower. Now you have a two-tone option if this is something you are interested in. And lastly, the front serrations. This is going to be hit or miss for a lot of people. For myself, and I'll make this short, I like them. I don't mind them whatsoever. Whether you like the press check or don't like the press check, that is completely up to you. Some people have safety concerns about your hand being so close to a barrel. I'm not going to really dive into that. I will just let you know that I do approve of these front serrations, and the rear, they are pretty aggressive. I think Glock did a great job. This concludes my review. I want to thank you guys for tagging along. And just to recap, I do believe this is the best 9mm platform that Glock has made thus far. Again, this is just my opinion. You guys have a great night, and I will see you at the next review.